Hello and welcome everybody to the latest edition of the Jam and Cheese Show. Cheese, before we get into the most pressing issue, which is the CBA drama.
Yes.
Your smile. Firstly, how are you?
Thank you. I'm very well. Thank you for that.
I forgot
I'm
to
actually
ask.
very well. Finally got to play the game I love on the weekend. Well, yesterday actually, and we lost, but it was just so good to be back. It's been nearly 9 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's just it's been hard, and it's gone through some tough times since, but just being able to run out there or lace the boots up, that whole emotion really of just being in the locker room, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just it's a whole different mindset to life when you get in the locker rooms, and it's a completely different person.
Happy place.
And yeah, you just,
even though you're about to put your body through.
Yeah, but you just
time.
love it. I was just sitting there in the locker room. I knew hardly anyone in there because it was the reserve grade side, and I was just thinking, I can't wait. I can't wait to go out there with these bunch of randoms and try to smoke some blokes.
Well, mate, you've smoked yourself because you've got some.
I've actually got a mad. It's a podcast, so you can't see, but I got 6 stitches in my eye for my troubles. I don't know how I did it. I can't remember doing it. I just remember I thought there was dirt in my eye and I couldn't see. And turns out it was just a big nasty old gash.
Well, it looks cool, but your teeth look pristine.
Yeah, thank you. I got I got some teeth changed. I had a few chips in my old ones, and I got some new bad boys, and they're a lot wider than the other ones. But yeah, shout out to Vogue Dental. Thank you very much. My man, Dr. D.
Dr. D. How good? What's the process there? Getting that?
You just sort of he just grinds the old ones off. Just pretty much takes them off. My old teeth are still underneath there, but he just takes the other ones off and then just slaps them on. It takes 20 minutes.
And can you take them out?
Nah.
They're stuck on for good.
I had temporaries you could take out.
Right. Yeah. So
these ones are good
for life.
Yeah, for life.
Do you have to brush them?
You don't. They stay white, but I'd assume it's a good idea for hygiene. I haven't brushed in weeks, but
why change habits?
I just brush the bottom ones now.
Yeah. No, they look good, man. They look good. Well done. All right, let's get into it, Cheese.
Yeah. Big day.
Players aren't talking to the media, or they're not talking to them on game day. In response to what has been said as a take it or leave it offer for the CBA to the Players Association from the NRL. It's been there's accusations that the majority of the players don't know what they're fighting for. Firstly, where are you at with this?
Yeah, I'm pretty well around it because I've been a RLPA delegate for a while, so I'm in a lot of the meetings with them, and I've got my grips wrapped around it. But how I feel is the media saying we're being used or whatever, or we don't even know what we're fighting for. I think it's not true, but I don't expect how many NRL players is there? About 800 NRL players to know every 1,000 words on the CBA negotiations or the 100 changes that they've made. I don't expect them to do that, but we've got people and leaders in clubs like myself or Christian Walsh, Connor Watson, people like that kind of, they know what's going on and they filter it down to the players. And all the, meetings we have, the RLPA come in, they go through the key points. They don't go through everything, but they go through the key points that's going to affect the players the most. And that's what I feel most of the players have got their head wrapped around for. The adding games, the funding, the data collection, the financial reports, all of those ones are ones that really affect us. And I don't feel like the players are focused too much on it because at the end of the day, we've got games to win and we've got games to play. So it's not a big discussion in the changing rooms going around. But we're standing tall. We're standing together. The RLPA is the players. We are the RLPA. So I guess we're trying to get a fair deal and it's definitely on discretion what fair means to us or the NRL. So
yeah, because I agree with you. The fact that not every player needs to be, you know, completely across what's happening. That's why you have an association, or that's why you have a union. Like, even if you have an NRL contract, like, I reckon most players would know the length of the term and
the money,
the money that they're on.
Yeah.
Like, all the other things that are in that contract, they'd be. They wouldn't be that, you know, the standard NRL contract, and even in other areas of employment as well, about all the nitty gritty. You trust that these have been set up by people that have gone before you, that it's for the betterment of an employer. You know, teachers, they have a union and they've had to fight before. Other unions have done that, where there's been back and forth, because it's worth fighting for.
Yeah, and I feel like the media is painting this picture that, you know, we're fighting for no reason. But like that, what do they expect us to do? Just lay over and take this deal? Like, and I feel like it's hard because the fans kind of, they're the ones that get affected by it, and then also the fans get turned against us by the media at the moment. And like, I hate when you see like people say the players are ungrateful, like the position you're in, like I'd do anything to be in your position. Like, I trained from like 7 years old to now every day pretty much to be where I am. And like, don't you think I know how grateful I am? I fucking delivered papers when I was 7 years old, running down streets, getting chased by my dad in a car. Like, I busted my ass to be in this position, and for you to say like, oh, I'd do anything to be in your position. Well, like, you wouldn't, because you're not. And like, every one of us players, we're here for a reason. Like, you know yourself, like, you've dedicated your whole life to this game, and I guess it hurts reading like comments like that. And I guess it's like, I'm very passionate about that, because this is my life. Rugby league is my life, and you know, I'll do anything I can for it. And I guess the whole CBA negotiation is just like us fighting for our rights. Like, the funding one, I hate that one, because it's like they're trying to control where we can spend our money. So it's like you giving me a Woolies voucher to go to Woolies, but like, you can decide whether I can buy it on sweet potato or potato. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I feel like there's a lot of just these stupid negotiations that have just been added in. But would you buy me a Woolies voucher?
No, I would not gift you a Woolies voucher or tell you what to do with it.
Christmas present.
You know what? It's one of the bit of a slightly off topic, bit of a shithouse gift, that a voucher. So you basically, here's some money.
Yeah.
But you can only spend it in one shop.
Yeah, exactly. That's essentially what they're trying to do with the funding. And then, like, there's a lot of ones that like I'm across in what I'm passionate about, because like I've talked about it with other people, but I've read it down here. The financial reports, like, I feel like that one's annoying, because, you know, when we got our COVID payments back, we were grateful to get any money back. And they said, oh, you're getting $11 million back. Like, and then I wanted that money straight away. So when the RLPA was fighting for it, like, more, I was like, I'll take the money now. It's all good. But then they did the auditing, and we ended up getting like 20 more million. And it kind of creates a distrust. And now with the financial reports, they want to minimalize the RLPA to be able to audit them. So, like, yeah, if the game was to take a loss and we have to take another pay cut, if the RLPA can't audit them, then how do we know the pay cut's actually the right amount that we should be getting cut? Like, if we can't audit them and find out what the correct figures are, like, they could just take money from, pretty much steal from us. And it's not like we trust them. Like, there was 11 mil they said, and then it ended up being 31 or something. So there's already been a bit of distrust in that whole thing. And not going to lie, I was very grateful for the payment, though. Thank you. I was very...
Yeah, it's really sad that it's got to this point. There's a massive amount... there's clearly a lack of trust. I don't know if... I think egos have got in the way a little bit as well.
Yeah, and I think on both parts.
No, that's what I'm saying. On both parts. look, you want to look for solutions and how we find solutions, but I don't know how it comes. That interesting to hear Christian Welsh about getting a fully independent auditor. So you basically go through these 100 issues and go, well, here's our case, here's our side, here's your side, and that have someone independent, conclude that.
Yeah.
So,
and it's hard for me because like I don't want to be talking about this. I don't no player wants to be focusing on these negotiations. We want to just go out there
that's why
play footy.
That's why you have an association.
Exactly.
So they can go in and fight for you. So that narrative a little bit of, most players don't know what they're fighting for or why they're taking this action.
Yeah.
Well, they don't need to know.
Yeah,
they genuinely don't need to be across it. I talk about trust. You got to trust that your association is acting in your best interest.
Yeah, well, we trust them and we believe in them and we pay them to know what's going on. Like, I'm not paid to know what's going on with our RLPA negotiations, but yeah, we trust Clinton, Simo, and everyone involved. So I feel like it's good the players are uniting pretty well in coming against, I guess, the NRL, which is not ideal. And we don't want to be in this position, and I feel bad because I don't want to. Like I love talking to the media.
Do you think though that the target, if you instead of so it's clear that there's an argument or a fallout between the NRL and the players or the Players Association, right?
Yeah.
But then the target of this response is the broadcasters, the media. Do you think that was the correct way to do it? So you're going to hit this stakeholder over here, and that's indirectly going to affect the NRL because the broadcasters then, well, they're going to put pressure on the NRL. Yeah. They're also going to say to the players' union, they're going to use all their power and control to discredit them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was the correct way. I've got my questions about was that the correct way to do it?
Yeah. Well, I've got my questions as well. Like, obviously, the broadcasters probably aren't meant to be in this fight with us as well. But we couldn't really come to an alternative. Like, what else? Because you can't boycott games. Like, that's robbing fans way more than game day interviews are. Like boycotting games, and I don't want to boycott games. I bloody love playing rugby league. Like,
well, you're not going to boycott games, but speak to the media.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah, exactly. But
could you not have covered the NRL logo on the jerseys? Not specifically, not speak to NRL.com. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, we could have done a lot of things, but I couldn't think of one. So I guess that's what we came up with, and that's what we're doing right now. So it's just tough because it was hard. It's hard because the mainstream media at the moment is just turning the screws on us because obviously they're working with the NRL and we've just pissed off them. Like the people on the reporters and that aren't going to, take the side of the players, are they? They're not going to go on the media and go, we agree with the players on this situation. They're just going to say what the broadcasters want because the broadcasters are angry at us.
And I guess
it's a conundrum.
They're their bosses, aren't they?
Exactly. So, they pay them.
Yeah.
You're not going to see Gordon Tallis fighting for the players when he's getting paid by the mainstream media, are you?
Yeah.
Look, I hope he doesn't want to fight me now for that.
No. For me, it's funny how important narrative is. I don't know if the RLPA underestimated the power of the narrative and how that affects the fans and affects the outcome of that. And the narrative is controlled by the media. I'd hope that Clint and the team were aware of just how powerful the media are and how that narrative control, because at the moment, and because the players can't speak apart from their own club websites and stuff like that, the players can't contribute and change that narrative. So it's really difficult from the players' point of view and having that control of the narrative. But one of the things that people keep talking about is the effect on the fans. Now, I've got a bit of an issue with this because the people I speak to, what they care about at the moment, they're, in my opinion, the biggest issue of the fans right now is the trade window. And, you know, players being allowed to speak to other clubs, you know, that signing for another team with 12 months to go and playing a full season like you did.
Yeah.
A lot of, like, you did do that, and a lot of fans don't like it, and I accept that.
Yeah.
In employment, which goes to show that employment law in sport needs to be different from other employment. So it's not as simple when it comes to a CBA as like, well, we do this in this industry, so then therefore this should happen in sport. But that's what a lot of fans don't like. A lot of fans don't like the fact that Ben Hunt could have left and gone and played for the Brisbane Broncos on a 3-month contract.
Yeah.
Like it could have happened.
I don't like that either.
I don't like that either. I don't like the fact that Toby Sexton at this late in the piece has come down and playing for the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
They're allowed to do it, and I'll support their right because they're playing by the rules, but I think that should be gone. I don't like David Nofaluma last year going to play for the Melbourne Storm for 3 months and then coming back to his club. Yeah. So actually in the NBA, they've just signed a CBA, and they've shut down some rights of the players to move to certain clubs. So clubs can't exchange, do trades for a certain amount of future draft picks. And there's something about like a luxury tax. Yeah. So there's a couple of trades that have recently happened to stop these pile-on teams. Yeah. Recently happened these trades that in the next CBA they couldn't do because they've changed the laws to stop these pile-ons. And in effect, Brisbane were trying to get a pile-on, bringing Ben Hunt up for 3 months. That's
a massive pile-on.
Yeah, that's like, well, hang on a minute, that doesn't make sense. Same with there was a couple of other players that moved to Tavita Pangai Jr. He moved from Brisbane to Penrith on like a 3-month deal. Like I don't think that should be happening. But that said, in defence of the NRL, which hasn't been spoken about, the NRL they were listening to the fans, but they were willing to forego that. Yeah. So it's this. I think the players have got the same freedom of movement rights. That didn't get changed. I thought the NRL, my criticism of the NRL is they should have closed that down. Yeah. They should have told the players, we're not letting you do this anymore.
Yeah, but I think that's an acceptable thing. Like I'm glad I'd gladly say, yeah, no worries, you can do that. But so and that's listening to the fans,
and it reduces your rights as a player. But we talk about for the greater good of the game. Yeah, like why did we let that one slide?
Well, it's still going on. It might be able to get it in there.
No, because the NRL moved off the table to agree with the Players Association.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I can't like that. Really, that's what the fans are going to be pissed off about. That this CBA is going to go on. It's like, well, we're going to keep having these conversations. We need to get that out of the game. Yeah, we need to get that out of the game, and it'll be the next CBA. It'll be like, right, we've got to change the trade window.
To be fair, some of the fans probably like not having to hear from stupid interviews before the game. Because there's some absolute shockers that, and I'm definitely one. Like I've definitely been a part of some of them. So some of the fans, I think they don't have to listen to us try to be smart or talk. Well, talk to the media. They get to watch us play footy. What we're good at.
The halftime interview, I love because I just think what more
could you want to be doing? Like, I always hated when I got asked to do that because when you're walking off, like I'm not overly fit as a human being. I go hard and I try to leave everything out there. And then when I'm coming off at a halftime, they're trying to interview me. I'm just going, it was good. And you're panting, and I feel
also like sometimes like I can't assess what's happening in the first 40 minutes of that. Like, we need to stop dropping the ball when we shouldn't be dropping it, and
we need to tackle them and score more points.
Yeah, we're just gonna fix that up. I don't know. There's better things to be focusing on, and I don't know.
Yeah, but I think enough about the damn CBA.
Well, Cheese, in your opinion, what's the solution?
Well, I think the solution is just you got to come up with a fair deal. I think we want to get it done quickly. Like, surely the independent mediation. What do you call it?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called, independent mediation.
Mediation. I think that's the best way to go about it. Or what Walshy said, just get a whole different governing body, which is essentially the same thing that assesses the 100 items that they've changed. But it's just tough. Like we said before, the players don't want to be discussing this and don't want to be going through this. Like, we've got a big season ahead, and it's probably the best season of footy I've been a part of, as in like the whole game wise. It's just such a tight competition, and there's the guys at the top of the ladder in the RLPA. They know what they're doing. So as long as they're happy, I'm happy. I'm a player.
Yeah,
I support them.
We're going to take a quick break from the podcast to tell you about AG1, the daily foundational nutritional drink with all your needs in the one place. I like to look after my health, and AG1 takes care of that for me. No more tablets, vitamin pills, all the health nutrition I need, all in the one place. Every single morning, it's as easy. Open up the fridge, scoop of AG1 in a glass, cold water, stir it with a fork, drink it. It tastes great, and it helps me know. It gives me the peace of mind that all my nutritional needs are taken care of, all in the one drink. It really is as simple as that. And also, anybody that knows anything about health benefits knows that it comes with adding simple routines to your day. It's not about magic pills. They're not going to work. AG1 helps me be the best version of myself by having this new habit of every single morning having that drink. I know my nutritional bases are covered thanks to AG1. A lot of athletes are now taking AG1, and with 75 high quality ingredients, it's no wonder why. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/buy round. That's drinkag1.com/buy round. Check it out. The finals race is heating up.
Yes.
I'm sure you've got an opinion on what happened in yesterday's the Titans v the Dolphins. Golden point, a penalty against the Titans.
Yeah.
For offside in a field goal attempt from Jermaine Osako. Was he offside? Was it Clark?
Aaron Clark.
Aaron Clark, yeah. I think he probably was offside.
Yeah, this is by the letter of the law. I'd say he's offside, and it's unfortunate for the Titans, but for once they did that. Like, I've been part of at least 4 games where the charge down person was way offside.
Yeah.
Or like the marker was not square at all, and they've just, to not ruin the game, they've just not blown it.
Well, I reckon I'm guessing, but I reckon if you looked at, if you broke the game down into 10-minute spells, I reckon you get a disproportionate amount of penalties not given in the final 1/8 of the game, i.e. minutes 70 to 80, because they are more consequential.
Yeah.
So the microscope seems to go on them. They have to be blatant offsides.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of something like penalties do get blown, but things like what's a strip and what's a knock on, like they're hard because you've got to make a decision one way or another.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different. But in terms of those, I can blow a penalty or not blow a penalty here. Those would be disproportionately less in the final 10 minutes of a game, especially in close games.
Yeah.
So not all penalties are considered equal. And then even more so when you look at penalties given in golden point, they're even fewer than any other 10-minute period of a regular game of football.
Yeah.
Now, people can say, well, they got the decision right. That's fine. They got the decision right. We don't want a game played that every single decision is right, because I think you would get a penalty in almost every set of 6 if you wanted to. Do we want games played by the rules? It's an interesting question. We do, but we don't.
Yeah.
So I'm all for penalising players being offside on the chart, for leaving early to charge down a kick, but start doing it round one next year. And let all the players know that, listen, lads, girls, we're not going to stand for this anymore. It's a bit of a joke. It's an ongoing joke. It's one of the pet peeves of the fans because they say they're always offside in Golden Point. How can you find the energy to be that fast in Golden Point? It's like, well, because they cheat and they're offside and they go early.
Yeah.
But then address the group in the off season or in the pre-season, and then say we're going to start blowing penalties. We're giving the referee. Yeah. But we're giving the referee more of a license to blow.
It's very lackluster though if you start blowing too many penalties towards the back end of the game, when the game's in balance, and you might lose. I like it the way it is.
It's one of those that you just accept as like. Look,
that was an unlucky result. Like it was very unlucky result.
It's almost that unwritten rule that unless you're like blatantly offside, and we all accept
like 4
that.
meters offside.
Yeah, we all accept that.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't think the Dolphins won the game and they'll be happy, but it was a really high quality game.
Yeah.
And the game didn't deserve to be decided, won and lost by that refereeing decision. So there's a game happening on Wednesday night, State of Origin, obviously. Like, if that was a decider,
you could be stupidly offside in State of Origin.
Could you imagine if that exact incident was to decide a series? The referee would never be able to be seen in that particular state that they affected ever again.
Did we know if the ref was yelling at him? Like, surely if you're yelling at him, mate, you're offside, you're not going to go. You're not going to continue for the charge. That's
a great point. I didn't pick up on the mic because sometimes they do that, don't they? Yeah, you're offside. It always pissed me off that if they're offside, don't tell them they are. Let them commit the act because they actually still you affect the play. Yeah, but that's a really good point. Did he yell?
I didn't hear it
because he didn't get anywhere near it. If Osako nails that field goal as well, we're not talking about this because it was only after he missed that he blew the penalty. I was shocked watching it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was upsetting, especially for the Titans because it's like you were saying. They're
I think they needed to win that game yesterday in order to keep their playoff hopes alive. That's just my personal opinion. I'm thinking you've got 13 wins to get there. I think the finals race is now down to 9. You could have pushed, say, 10 because Manly have got that draw, so they could win 12 and have the draw and possibly sneak in. But I just think with the loss of Tommy, I don't think they will. And even that's with all due respect to you, mate, who's in the room. Yeah. The Roosters, it's almost going to have to be a perfect season from here on in, minus one game.
Well, hopefully it is.
You're back this week, right? So
yeah, back this week. You got the Storm, but yeah, it's getting down to crunch time, and we've got to start piecing it together.
Yeah, well, I think we had a little bit of a look, and the Eels, their run home includes the Cowboys, the Storm, the Panthers, the Broncos, and yourselves, like. And I think let me just double check where they're at in terms of their win loss.
It's tough, man. Who puts these draws together? Well, because the Eels, they're
9 and 8 at the minute.
The poor Eels, they've had a very tough run. Like
they have.
A lot of teams have played bottom 3 teams twice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think it was with a new team coming in and the fact that each team's going to have 3 buys. I think the buy schedule and who you play coming off a bye and how often that happens throughout the season was a bit of an oversight. Yeah. Sorry, or an oversight, whatever. They just didn't see it, didn't realise the severity of it. So the Eels, I think the Eels played like 4 top 8 teams from last year, all fresh off a bye towards the start of the season. And look, it has created some issues. Bringing in the 17th team, obviously it's an uneven number of teams in the competition. So we have the bye, but it's something that I think the NRL seriously need to consider looking at next season and have some work, and whether it's just fine tune the algorithm a little bit on a more even competition. It's impossible to get an even competition when we don't play each other twice, but that's the game that we're in. But the playoff race is heating up, and the Eels, I mean, they lost to the Warriors. They were missing a few players for State of Origin, but one of the things around State of Origin is the fact that Spencer Leniu could be coming into the team.
That'd be awesome,
mate. He would be.
We had this big discussion. He's got to be in there. Like,
yeah, they've got.
Who's not going in?
I think I reckon they'll move Gutherson out, which leads me to the point that I reckon the Eels will be filthy. That looks as if Gutherson. Well, if he gets on, it'll be because somebody gets injured. But if the game all goes to plan and everyone stays fit, Gutho might not get on. Yeah. So the Eels have every right to be filthy about what's going on, but maybe just try and focus on themselves. I'm really liking what the Warriors are bringing at the minute. They're just they're going great. Canberra under the radar.
Who was that? Luke Metcalf. Jesus.
He played at the Sharks, mate. He was really good.
I know who he is, but Jesus, I didn't know who he was on the weekend.
Yeah, he played really well.
I kept telling my little brother he's a good player. That guy, he's a good player. And then, well, I know my players obviously.
I think he's played the last 5 or 6. He must have been injured to start the season because it was strange.
There was Tamati Martin was playing.
Oh yeah,
he's injured. They've still got a few people to come back. Like they've got Curran, Tamati Martin. There's another one coming back. I just can't remember.
Yeah, they were good on. They just the Warriors in Canberra. They just quietly go about their business. Yeah, under the radar.
The Canberra they find a way to win. They're
just going under the radar. Yeah. That Tomoko was he was embarrassing players, and then so was Tarpanay as well. Like against the Dragons on was it Thursday or Friday? Yeah. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they just need to fix the last 20 minutes of their games.
But if either of those two can get themselves into, well, top 4's not out of reach for them, but even finishing 5th or 6th, get a home game, and then get the win there, and then just ride the wave, ride that momentum wave. That could be the key to their finals. Is just get that home semi one way or another. Yeah. Onto some rather interesting news. I don't know if you saw first off, all things Bulldogs. Josh Reynolds is retired, so congratulations. His last game will be at Belmore in the Reggies on Saturday. I believe it's a sellout. I think he's timed this on purpose because he wants to get lifted off the field. So, he actually messaged me saying, mate, can you get your bye-round listeners to make sure they storm the field at the end of the Reggies game, because he wants to be carried off, and he'll play the old, like, oh, no, put me down. He's even asked this height. He said, mate, would you come on and lift me off the field and give me a lap of honour?
We need Buddy Franklin. Yeah, remember that? We need those sort of vibes for Josh Reynolds.
Yes, I agree with you. So he's played this one perfectly. The old Josh Reynolds, it's never about me, but we know what you're doing, Josh. But in all seriousness, I'm really proud of what he's managed to achieve, and I'm privileged to call him a friend. So it's going to be an emotional day out there on Saturday. I'm pleased I'm going to be there. Get to see my good mate one last time on a football field, and I've got to say, like, incredibly selfless what he did in giving up that roster spot for Toby Sexton, and what it does. We speak a lot about team first. Team first, that's club first. Yeah. And that's why people love to play with him, because that's what he did. And what a guy. Like, even back in the day when we were first playing there, like he'd do everything. Like, he was so popular amongst the group. He's one of those, like, the Bulldogs had like players all over Sydney. Yeah. Josh Reynolds was like the social butterfly that would go to everyone's, like, like there'd be a kids party out in out west somewhere in Liverpool, so he'd go to that, and then Josh Morris would have something on in like North Caringbah, he'd go to that, and like he just loved it.
That's
he
awesome.
loved it. So it's going to be an emotional.
He's done so much in the game as well.
It's going to be an emotional day. And the Bulldogs actually, they've
got the dub, didn't they?
They did.
They got who did they beat? They beat the Bunnies.
Yeah, mate. Honestly,
that's good for us.
What a nerve-wracking game that was. Great to see the Dogs back to winning ways, because it's been a while, and after what happened the week before. But they've offered this bizarre clause that Tino and David Fafita have in their contract. It's been, I don't know.
What is that clause? Like, I want to know what it says in writing.
Well, it's a Justin Holbrook clause. So if the coach is sacked, which he was, they've got, I think, 3 months to activate a leave clause, or at least they can go and speak to other clubs. They're going to get their heads turned, and one of the clubs that will be turning their head, or Tino's head, is the Bulldogs, that have offered, like, Arthur Laundy, who's one of the major sponsors of the Bulldogs. Amazing bloke, and he does this for a lot of players. He genuinely wants to help footballers. That's where he's coming from. This isn't about necessarily, or helping or rorting a cap or finding a loophole in the salary cap for the Bulldogs. He helps players from all sorts of clubs, but what he wanted to do was help Tino invest in a no-lose situation into a pub with a guaranteed return. So I think the NRL are gonna kibosh it.
What the hell does kibosh mean?
Kibosh? You never heard that phrase?
You're very linguistic. Is it linguistic?
You never heard kibosh?
Linguistic? Is
Tony, have you ever heard kibosh? Let's look it up.
Kaiser Soze.
Favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, one of.
Mate, honestly, I reckon I've seen that film like 50 times.
Not many people actually know about it, to be quite fair.
Kobayashi.
Kibosh.
Kibosh meaning decisively end or reject something. The presence.
So you used it very well.
Yeah,
well done, Jimmy.
I knew. Well, so used in a sentence, the presence of a submarine would kibosh the operation. Effectively end or reject it.
Yes. So they're going to say no.
Yeah, which I kind of get. But I mean, it was strange that the Bulldogs went public with that. Most teams would do the old sneaky, hey, Tino, this is what we can do.
Yeah. Geez, you got to respect that.
Yeah, you do. But good on Arthur Laundy, because he actually genuinely cares about footballers, and he wants to help them future-proof themselves. Like, he's not big on them buying flashy cars.
Yeah.
He realises through his experience, super successful businessman, built an empire there.
You have his number?
I do. It's sort of like, it's interesting, isn't it? You hear like invest in pubs, and I've invested a lot of time, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I've invested a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and my own personal money into pubs, and I'm still waiting for the return, Arthur. Can you guarantee that? But
I couldn't guarantee I'd return from the pub.
Yeah. Get lost in a time. But Arthur, your pubs have got time warps in them. I walk into them for one beer and I come home 3 days later.
And he walks out with your money.
Doesn't seem very fair. Anyway, all right, well, good chat, Cheese. But now it's time for this.
Fan feelings. Nothing more than how do you feel?
I actually do feel like a Tooheys or two. Just take the edge off. It's been a rough day. First question we've got. This one's from Terry Tickle. Thanks, Tez, for this. Who's been your most improved player for season 2023 so far? Cheese, I'll throw it over to you first.
I'm going to go with the Redcliffe Dolphins hooker, Jeremy Marshall King. Yeah, I reckon he's been a big part of why they've won a lot of the games. So, and he's hilarious. But yeah,
Is he a funny fellow, is he?
yeah, he's funny. He's really dry funny. But who do you think?
Look, a couple of honourable mentions from the Warriors. Jackson Ford. I think he's been outstanding. And actually, in terms of improvement, Sean Johnson. Like,
I might have to change mine to him.
he's
As far as improvement from last year, we're talking about, like,
yeah,
he's a different human.
He
is the reason they're where they are now.
Yeah, because actually, you know what? I'm changing it. Sean, I was going to say Matt Demoko.
Yeah,
because he is like genuinely exciting to watch, and like the improvement in his game. But
he's looking silly. He's looking silly out there.
Yeah,
like that game. Like, what did he have? Like 2 tries, just a try, 150 meters in the first half.
He was on another plan. He was on another level. It's
taken me 6 weeks to do that.
Yeah, he was on another level. But I reckon most improved. Yeah. Sean Johnson.
I agree. I'm going to change mine. Unlucky Jeremy. Sean Johnson.
2 New Zealanders. Actually, Tomoko. Is he Kiwi?
Kiwi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackson Ford
good.
flying the flag for Australia in the most improved department. But all right, next question. I think we've got an audio on for this.
Hi guys, if there's one player that you could run at all day long, who would it be? Referencing Jammer's run at Jason King. Lord again, son.
If there's one person you could run at all day long, probably Harry Grant. Not because he's a bad defender, just because I'd love to run at him all day long. Just because he's an absolute crab. He's my best friend, so I can say that.
Were you doing it on this weekend, aren't you?
Yeah, probably not all day long. I think I'll be coming off the bench, but
I wonder if he'll play, actually.
I hope he doesn't.
All right, I can't really answer that. I don't know. Probably Josh Reynolds.
Is it a soft landing?
I reckon
he'd take your head off.
Oh no! I reckon he'd fly out the line a couple of times, but then I reckon fatigue would probably set in. He's been funny to watch playing that middle role this year. Like
he's an absolute energizer bunny.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, he told me, he's like, I have to fly out the line because I can't let them get the speed up. I think once he did it against Tom Burgess, and Tom Burgess like, what are you doing?
I remember that, but it's just funny watching because you can tell how much of a pest he would be.
Oh, man. That's part of his ability. All right, I think we've got time for one more.
Yeah, hey boys, how we going? Look, I got a quick question for you. What would you rather, never brush your teeth again, or only get one wipe every time you do a number 2 for the rest of your life? Cheers, boys, love the show.
Oh, it's actually a really tough question, but like for me, I've got these teeth, so, but I'm not. That's pretty gross, actually. I'm not against the old number 2 into the shower.
What?
Not in the shower. Go one wipe straight to the shower.
Oh, right. So you're trying to.
You're just in real strife if you're over at the parents-in-law's house.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tactically plan your. Yeah, I think one. See, I'd definitely go with choosing the one wipe.
Yeah,
and be able to brush my teeth because I reckon with time you become an expert. Change your diet so you get more solid.
I reckon carnivores is carnivore diet.
That's
like just only meat. They reckon the poos after like 2 months the poos are just solid.
Oh yeah, well there you go. You switch your diet up and you become a bit of an expert in the one wiper.
Does it specify how much toilet paper you can use?
Just one, like one action. That's hard.
Wait, are you from the back?
One action.
Are you? Do you wipe like a normal human, like from the back?
I'm a stand up and wipe.
No way.
But you know the main reason?
I don't know them. There's no main reason.
There is. I like to investigate what I've done.
I can just.
No, I mean, if it land, I want to see what I've landed. Do you not want to see what you've done? Do you not want to see what you've done? Do you not want to see what you've done first?
What the
Mate, you might want to take a picture of it. Mate, you've got to go investigate.
Is that the main reason you stand up? Because you want to see your shit?
Well, yeah. But if you wipe just sitting down and throw it in, you might miss something.
Oh, shit.
I think it's worth looking at.
Oh, well, you shit with the door closed then. I don't. Most times at my house.
Yeah, probably close.
But that's so fucked up.
Why is it fucked up to like stand up and have a look?
Oh, that's so gross. But
not.
It's gross. It's funny though.
Well, on that bombshell, I reckon that's the place to call it a day.
I just know that like Joe Stimson wipes from the front. You know, like lean over put your thing through there and it's wipes.
Yeah. Like what are you?
I'm just the stock standard.
Side.
Scrunch, bang, wipe. Not look at my shit.
Mate, because I take pictures up and send it to people that don't want to see it.
Scott Drinkwater used to be a serial video coming out of his ass and send it to you.
That's different.
I actually caught up with him and it just but he used to be a serial.
Yeah.
I hope he sees that too because it's disgusting.
Rugby league players, eh? Oh my God.
Rugby league players. No,
But
and apparently former rugby league players.
Well, I'm definitely going with that. Keep brushing my teeth, one wipe, all the way. All the way. All right, thanks for that question. You've really exposed some of my flaws. And thanks for listening to the Jam and Cheese Show. We'll see you next week.
Are you serious? Is that serious?
I definitely stand up, 100% stand up.